Have you ever done a speed test like this and you see great speeds both upload and download, and then you see these numbers here on the side such as latency, jitter, and packet loss, and you ask yourself, what does that mean? Well, let's go over it. First up, latency is essentially the time that it takes from your computer to its destination and back to your device. So if we look at this diagram here, we can see the latency is the 800 milliseconds going from the laptop to the server, plus the 900 milliseconds going back from the server to the laptop, which means the latency is a total of 1.7 seconds, which in the grand scheme of things is really bad. 1 second to get to somewhere and back is really bad. If we look at something such as latency on my download speed here, 29.3 milliseconds, that's actually really good. Sub 30, sub 40 milliseconds is really excellent, especially when you're playing video games, as that latency is how long it takes to go from your PC to the gaming server and back to your PC to be completely registered, especially when registering other hits inside of that game. Next up, let's take a look at jitter. Jitter is the variation of the delay between each packet. So if we look here where it says there's no jitter, we can see that the time is consistently the same across each packet being sent. But when we're looking at jitter, we can see that, there's a big jump between this packet here and this packet, and then the Y also means that there's a different times between X, Y, and Z. And that's bad because that means that there's going to be more, inconsistencies with your data being transmitted both from your machine to a server or from the server to your machine. And so you want the lowest amount of jitter along with the lowest amount of latency. Next up, let's take a look at packet loss. Packet loss are essentially packets that come either from your machine or from a server that failed to reach its destination. So if you have packet loss going from you to a video game server, that means that server is not receiving information such as like where your whereabouts are, where you're aiming, what you're shooting at, and so on. Keeping all these numbers low are optimal to making sure that you have a great networking experience, whether you're on Wi-Fi or hardwired, and especially if you're playing video games. Having super low latency, having super low jitter, and essentially zero packet loss. With the way networks are today, you want to make sure you have zero packet loss. There should be none whatsoever. If you do have packet loss, then you might have a problem with like your wire, you might have a problem with your configuration, something might be a half duplex and so on. So hopefully this helped you guys out. If you like more tech videos, don't forget to like and follow for more. And if you want more in-depth videos, don't forget to check out my YouTube in my bio.